Welcome back to Rocket Ships 49. Remember to thank all your current servicemen and women and any veterans you may know. In a previous video, I discussed the Harrington and Richardson Model 148 that I picked up on my birthday. I called it a project gun. We had some discussion about what some of my options were as far as keeping it as is or rebluing and refinishing the stock. I decided I am going to totally reblue the barrel and the receiver portion of the firearm, as well as refinish the foregrip and the stock. I'm going to replace the recoil pad with a more up-to-date version. So the first thing we need to do is disassemble the firearm. And with most single barrel shotguns, especially H&Rs, this is very simple. All you have to do with this model is pull off the foregrip, break the action, and slide the barrel out of the receiver. Those are the three major components. There's some small items you need to remove in order to take care of the foregrip. As you can see, on the inside of the foregrip, there's a small piece of metal attached by two flathead screws. And on the end of the foregrip is what I call the hinge. It's a piece of metal that's also attached by two flathead screws. So you need to remove those before you can begin sanding and restaining the foregrip. I went ahead and removed those. They're just basic flathead screws. They came out very easy. I don't know if they've worked their way loose over the years or somebody previously removed this and had them removed. But they come out very easy with any flathead screwdriver. Next item that needs removed is the recoil pad. As I previously said, I like H&R shotguns, but any of the shotguns that have this recoil pad on, I just never understood that. It's either an off orange, off red, whatever they call it. I'm going to remove this and either try to clean it up or replace it with something more modern. It's only two flathead screws in the end here. That'll only take a second, so I'm not going to show you that. I'll just remove it. As you can see, I removed the recoil pad, which opens up the large opening to remove the stock from the receiver. You can see down in there, there's a very large flathead screw. I'm surprised it's not some kind of bolt, but I'll get my tools and remove that. Make sure you have some kind of parts bin or some kind of container to put all your pieces so you don't lose them in the middle of your project and go to reassemble them and they're missing. The first piece I'm going to work on is the foregrip, removing the old stain and finish from it. I don't think this is going to be too difficult because it has a very light coat on it. Like I said before, there was no clear coat or lacquer. So I've already taken a few swipes with this with 220 sandpaper. And I don't know if you can see from your vantage point that most of it has already come off. So there's not a lot on there and it should come off pretty easy. I've only been working on this for about 5 minutes. And with the sandpaper, I was pretty much able to remove all the exterior finish from the outside of the foregrip. I still have to work on the inside. If you can look at the foregrip and the stock, you should be able to tell the difference. Might be a little bit difficult with the lighting. There's a possibility that somebody else, one of the previous owners, may have tried to refinish this stock and just put a light coat of finish on it and didn't go to the extent of putting a clear coat on it. Maybe that's why it came off so easy. Besides one final sanding with, I'm going to try 100 grit sandpaper. I believe the foregrip is pretty much finished. I'm going to move on to the stock. That only took about 5 minutes with 220 grit sandpaper, sanding it by hand. I chose to keep the stock on the receiver. Just gives you a little bit more to hold on to while you're trying to sand. The next item I'm going to work on is the barrel. And judging from the appearance of the barrel, this really shouldn't take too long. I've done a previous gun before where I sanded down the barrel and re-blued it, and it had a lot more bluing on it than this one does, so this really shouldn't take too long. Turn this back into a little bit more of a workbench so I don't make as much mess. You can see what's left on there is coming off pretty easy. So finish with the 220, and I am going to get 100 sand grit to finish the barrel, but this really shouldn't take too long. I'm all finished with the preparation part. The stocks have been stripped, the foregrip has been stripped, the barrel has been cleaned really good. Now the next step will be actually applying the stain to the foregrip and the stock, and then we will do the rebluing of the barrel and the receiver. Thank you for tuning in to Rocket Ships 49. Stay tuned for part 2 of this video. Thank you.